What makes a city human? Is it the way our bodies move through it, the way our senses respond to it, the way we feel connected or completely alone while navigating the streets? A human city is one that supports us psychologically, emotionally, and socially. But today, many of our cities, especially in the United States, aren't built around people at all. They're built around cars, industry, and efficiency. In this project, I want to explore what happens when we turn that around. What happens when we design a city for humans? We know that nature and mental health are deeply connected. Studies across psychology and environmental design show that spending time in natural environments improves mood, lowers anxiety, and boosts cognitive performance. Even short exposure to parks or tree-lined streets can reduce stress hormones and improve memory. Two major theories explain why this happens. The attention restoration theory explores the idea that spending time in natural environments enables people to overcome mental fatigue and restore their capacity to direct attention. The softness of nature allows our brains to take a break from the intense directed attention that modern life demands. Second is the stress reduction theory. It explores the idea that spending time in nature influences feelings or emotions through activating the parasympathetic nervous system in order to reduce stress and autonomic arousal. In a world that pulls us in every direction, nature isn't just an aesthetic. Instead, it is used for a tool for psychological survival. And cities that embed nature into everyday experience create healthier, more resilient populations. Cities also shape how our bodies move or don't move. Almost a quarter of adults report getting no physical activity outside their jobs. Sedentary behavior is one of the major contributions to why 2/3 of the U.S. adults are overweight or obese. Globally, more than 1 billion people now have cardiometabolic syndrome, a cluster of risks including abnormal obesity, low HDL, high triglycerides, elevated blood glucose, and hypertension. This isn't just an individual's choice, it's design. Research shows that physical activity, especially in everyday forms like walking or cycling, can prevent cardiovascular disease, treat or delay cardiometabolic syndrome, and reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and cancer. Recognizing this, the World Health Organization recommended in 2018 that cities promote active transportation as a public health strategy. And the evidence is clear. A cross-country study comparing Europe, North America, and Australia found that countries with the highest rate of walking and cycling have the lowest rates of obesity, and car-dependent countries like the US and Australia have the highest. Human cities make movement effortless. Car-centric cities make movement optional and often impossible. Cities are social organisms, and walkability directly affects how we interact with each other. Recent research shows that walkable urban design and social cohesion are linked. People who meet neighbors on the street, even in quick passing interactions, tend to feel more connected, safer, and more invested in their communities. These micro moments of contact, aggregated over time, build something powerful. This idea appears in the New Urbanism and the concept of the 15-minute city, which both argue that mixed-use, walkable environments naturally foster social interaction. In contrast, mid-century American planning, built around the personal automobile, created sprawl, separating homes, shops, and workplaces into isolated zones. In pedestrian environments, people share space, negotiate pace, make eye contact, and pause to talk. In car-orientated environments, individuals become sealed inside private vehicles, removed from street life. A city designed for walking is a city designed for connection. But a human-assisted city must work for all humans. Research shows that accessibility failures in public spaces are widespread. Pathway designs, boarding ramps, entrances, confined spaces, and surface materials are constantly rated among the least accessible elements. Many public spaces simply cannot be used by large sections of the population due to architectural barriers and the lack of inclusive planning. Accessibility is more than ramps. It includes social cultural factors, affordability, safety, vibrancy, and whether a place supports the daily rhythms of people with disabilities, elderly residents, caregivers, and even with people with temporary injuries. But we also have strong examples of what inclusive design can look like. Copenhagen integrates universally accessible parks, sensory paths, and inclusive play environments. The New York City High Line redesigned infrastructure with accessible routes, seating, and intuitive wayfinding. Singapore's barrier-free access initiative transformed parks and waterfronts with ramps, elevators, and tactile paving. Research shows that universal design doesn't just increase access, it improves overall user experience, mental health, social integration, and even economic vitality. A city is only human when everyone can belong in it. If we look around the US, most cities aren't human at all. They're car-centric. Los Angeles is defined by a vast freeway system carrying millions of vehicles every day. Houston is a textbook example of sprawl, low density, separated uses, and almost no comprehensive public transportation. Across the country, roads, highways, and parking lots dominate the urban environment. How does this happen? Well, the Federal Highway Act built over 40,000 miles of intensive highways, often cutting through minority neighborhoods and erasing walkable districts. Zoning laws then require massive parking lots for almost every building. And unlike Europe or Asia, U.S. zoning laws separate housing from shops and offices, making the car mandatory for even basic errands. Cars are also incredibly spatially inefficient. They sit idle 95% of the time, yet occupy half of more urban land in some American cities. Streets were widened, trees removed, and sidewalks narrowed, all to serve machines instead of people. The result is isolation, poor health, weak social ties, dangerous streets, and enormous environmental costs. But the rise of micromobility has e-bikes up to 190%, bicycles 120%, e-scooters 61%. It shows that when people are giving alternatives, they take them. People want human cities. We've just forgotten what they look like. A human city is one where your body feels safe, your mind can rest, and your daily life doesn't depend on a car. It's a city that invites social interaction, supports physical and mental health, and includes people of all abilities. When we design for humans, we aren't just improving urban form. We're improving quality of life, community resilience, and long-term sustainability. So the real question isn't what makes a city human. It's this: what kind of city do we want to live in, and who do we want to serve?